Hello, ladies. Welcome again to another episode of the Autoimmune Rehab Podcast. This, of course, is your host, Anna Laura Brown. And today I'm going to be sharing with you what I feel like is a really important topic. And this topic has become more and more important with, us coming out of a pandemic and other things. People are really struggling with their emotional well-being and their emotional wellness, that kind of thing. And so today, what I'm going to do specifically is talk to you about how essential oils can help with emotional well-being. Now, this may or may not be something that you had considered. I know for me, when I first started using essential oils back in around 2008, 2009-ish, I was using them more, for my respiratory health, my immune health, allergies, things like that. And it didn't really occur to me initially how powerful essential oils can be for your emotional well-being. And in the years since, after doing some research, some books, after, experimenting with essential oils for emotional well-being, I have come to discover that if anything, essential oils are almost more powerful for our emotional well-being than they are for our physical well-being. And so that's what today's episode is going to be all about. So I have to always say this as well, a couple of caveats, things to keep in mind. So the first thing is, I obviously don't come from the medical profession and I don't have any kind of a science background. So I know that there is a lot of science behind how essential oils work with your emotions and your brain and that kind of thing. But we're not going to get in depth into the science behind the essential oils because that's really not something that is my expertise or forte. So instead, I will link to a few resources where you can go find some different reports and things and read up on the science of essential oils if you want to. I also will include some links to some books about essential oils and emotions and that kind of thing. The other thing you also want to keep in mind is that as a doTERRA wellness advocate, I use exclusively doTERRA essential oils. In the past, I have used some other brands of essential oils previously, so I have some knowledge and experience with other essential oils, but I am primarily using doTERRA, which are considered certified therapeutic pure grade and considered almost even a medical grade. There's a lot of hospitals and doctors that use essential oils. So actually, even when I had knee surgery in March of 2022, my orthopedic surgeon used essential oils before, during, and after my surgery to help me with my recovery. And so the other caveat to this that you want to be aware of is that if you find just, like cheap essential oils on Amazon or Walmart, you're not going to get the same results that you will with an actual therapeutic medical grade essential oil. And then the other thing to be aware of is that some of my favorite essential oils and some of the ones that I will probably mention on this podcast are specific blends that are unique and proprietary to doTERRA, so you won't find them anywhere else. So if you want to have a conversation with me about essential oils or learn more about any of the essential oils that I'm going to be talking about, please reach out. I will have the link to my doTERRA site as well as a way to get in touch with me in the description of this podcast. But anyhow, my doTERRA site is discoveroilsnow.com. Again, that's discoveroilsnow.com. And then you can apply for a free consultation and we can talk about essential oils or other things at annalaurabrown.com/application. Again, that's annalaurabrown.com/application. And we will, of course, like I said, have the link in the show notes. So the first thing that I want to talk about is to make you aware that there are different oils and different blends that can help with different emotions. And when I first sometimes start talking to people about how essential oils can be used for emotional well-being, a lot of times people get a little confused and are a little bit like, what, really? But when you really think about it, this is a pretty innate thing. So there's a couple of aspects to this to consider. So one is, a lot of us, when we're really young, we grow up around different kinds of smells and we start to associate different smells with different memories. And, even when I look back to before I used essential oils, I was actually in a business where I sold candles for 6 years before that. And a lot of times people would like to buy or would really enjoy the smell of certain kinds of candles simply based on a memory that they have from, something that happened as a childhood, a positive experience, just something that some kind of a feeling that they get when they get that smell. And so a lot of us, even if we maybe aren't used to the concepts of essential oils and aromatherapy for emotional well-being, we may definitely be used to the idea that certain smells will evoke certain memories or certain kinds of feelings and things like that. And the other thing to keep in mind that nearly every kind of a physical element that you have has also somewhat of an emotional component to it as well. And so it just makes sense that just like essential oils are really good for different aspects of your physical well-being, that they can be really good for your emotional well-being as well. So there are a couple of different steps and things that you want to take, things that you want to consider when it comes to using essential oils for your emotional well-being. So the first thing is you want to determine what actual emotion are you feeling and or what emotion do you want to feel. So for example, you could be feeling, let's say, a little bit sad because, something's going on in your life that's causing that, or maybe you're very, very sad. Something drastic happened, like you had a pet that died, or somebody in your family or friend died, and you're really struggling with the grief and that kind of thing. And you're really needing something to support more that grief and that consolation, that kind of thing. Or, maybe you are feeling a lack of desire and a lack of motivation to get busy and get going and do some of the things in life that you know you need to do. And you want something to help you get a little bit more motivated, or maybe you're just struggling with, a lot of the negative things that are going on in the world today and the news and that kind of thing. And you really feel like you could use a little more peace and you'd like an essential oil to help support that. So the very first thing you want to think about when it comes to using essential oils for your emotions and emotional well-being is to really own and acknowledge what the emotions are that you are feeling and what kind of an emotion or feeling do you want to have. And one thing that can really help with this, and this is a resource that I will actually also link in the show notes as well, that you don't get this from doTERRA, you can get it from different essential oil supply places, or there are probably your websites online that have it as well, is there's what's called an emotions of essential oil wheel. And this wheel, I have a physical copy of it. And on one side it's yellow and there are different positive emotions that are listed and affiliated with an oil that can help you increase and have more of that positive emotion. And then on the back side, the wheel is blue and lists different negative emotions and lists different essential oils that can help to support and help you to change that emotion. So an example of one that could be negative would be like if you're really struggling as well with, say, like forgiving somebody. So somebody did something to you and you know you need to forgive that person, but you're having, or that situation, but you're having a really hard time with it. doTERRA has a specific essential oil blend called Forgive that can help support that emotion and that desire to forgive, help make it easier for you to forgive, and help you to harbor less anger and resentment over that situation. Obviously isn't going to make everything go away immediately, but one of the biggest things with that blend, the study that comes to mind is there was a psychologist that worked with doTERRA to do a study, and she had a diffuser and she diffused Forgive in her office every day for a couple of weeks and asked different patients to describe to her the emotions they felt both before they experienced coming to her office and smelling the Forgive and after. And she found a drastic increase in the number of patients who said that they felt more calm and at peace and they felt like they had more forgiveness and less anger. So these are, real life examples of what essential oils can do for you. And another good example would be like the Serenity blend, which contains like lavender and marjoram and things to help you sleep at night. Well, those essential oils are also known to help with the emotions of helping you have more peace, more calm, more serenity in your life. And one of the common reasons why a lot of people don't sleep or don't sleep as well at night is because they're struggling with a lack of peace and calm, or, they have thoughts in their mind that make it really hard for them to focus and get to sleep. And so that's a good practical example of how emotional well-being can affect your physical well-being, is with your sleep. So once you determine, like I said, what emotion or emotions you're feeling and what you want to change or what you want an essential oil to do for you, then you can focus on finding either one or two essential oils or a blend to help assist with that. And when it comes to emotional well-being and essential oils, the two main ways that I recommend that you use the essential oils to help with that are by putting it on the bottoms of your wrists, or rubbing it on your wrists and then just smelling it and inhaling it. Or you can also do something like get a piece of an essential oil jewelry, like a necklace or a wrist band that has a thing where a little piece of felt or something in it that you can put a few drops of essential oil and then smell it. Or there are also clay necklaces out there as well that you can get, it will absorb a few drops of the essential oil that you can wear it around your neck and then smell it from time to time. Or diffusing. So those are really the ways that you're going to use essential oils to help with your emotional well-being, is to just either have it on your body and wear it a little bit so that you can always smell it throughout the day, or put it into a diffuser and diffuse it into your environment. And, ideally just keep refilling the water and putting more oil in, and, just keep going that way. And a couple of other things to consider is that you want to avoid trying to focus on helping to support more than, I would say, two emotions at one time. So, let's say you're feeling, a little bit sad, down, you're also angry, you're also, unmotivated, different things like that. You might be really difficult for you to use essential oils to try to help support all those emotions at once. So you want to try to pick the one emotion that is the most dominant in your life and the one that you feel like you need the most help with, and then work on using an essential oil to help you support that emotion. And then, maybe after a few hours, move on to another one. But you don't want to overload yourself with trying to help use the essential oils to support too many emotions at once. Okay, so then the other thing you also want to think about is that the essential oils are categorized in different kinds of essential oils. And depending on the kind of essential oil that you're referring to, that will help determine which emotion it is the best for. So, for example, citruses and citrus oils are used primarily for a lot of the emotions around motivation, desire to actually achieve more, to have more in your life, as well as things like cheerfulness and uplifting your mood. That kind of thing is what citruses are for. And if you think about it, if you cut open a fresh grapefruit even and just smell it, or you smell an orange, smell lemon, that kind of thing, it automatically gives you this sense of a little bit more of energy boosting and invigoration and cheerfulness and that kind of thing. So in general, that is the real strength of the citrus family of essential oils. And the next category is the mints. Now, mints essential oils, mint can also be used for motivating and uplifting as well. The mints are also known for like the peace and calming, for example. So like the peace that doTERRA has a mint in it. And so do several of the calming blends. So different emotions around feeling more peace and calming, a lot of them will have like a mint component to them. Same with, any blends that are used for cooling of the body, that kind of thing. Okay, and then flower essential oils, a lot of times are used for more like sleep, as well as console and comfort. So for example, there's a console blend that doTERRA has that can be used to help with grief and things like that. And the actual console blend didn't exist when my grandpa died. But then when my grandma died just under a year later, we actually did have the console blend. And I have to tell you, when my grandpa died, I started using, a different kind of blend that was circulating around to help with console. It wasn't the official console blend because doTERRA hadn't come out with it yet. And I have to tell you that between, using that made up blend and then the console blend when my grandma died, almost, like I said, almost a year later, I was super close to my grandparents. These were my maternal grandparents, and I still miss them a lot. I have to tell, just smelling that oil definitely did help with the consolation and the peace and some of the relief from the grief and things like that. Of course, it never took it away completely. And, this was, we're going on, oh my goodness, let's see. My grandma died in 2015 and this is 2022. So 7.5 years since my grandma's been gone and 8.5 years since my grandpa's been gone. And while I still miss them, whenever I start to feel just a little bit sad about the situation, using one of these blends and these oils can really help. Okay, and then you also have the category of herbs and trees. So herbs and trees are used to promote a lot of the feelings of like forgiveness and grounding and that kind of thing. And so some of my two favorite other blends are the Forgive blend and the Balance blend. And both of these have primarily essential oils from herbs and trees in them. The grounding blend specifically smells very much like an earthy type grounding blend. It's also known as Balance, meaning it's designed to help you have more balance and control over your life, if you will. So once you know this and you take into account the different characteristics of the different kinds of categories of essential oils, then you can decide, do you want to use just one primary essential oil? Do you want to actually use a blend? Do you maybe want to combine a few to create your own blend? Because you can do that as well. Just take a few drops of each one of them, or, make a roller bottle where you put maybe 10 to 20 drops of some of the oils and then put in different carrier oils like fractionated coconut oil or a avocado oil, jojoba oil, different things like that, and make an actual roller bottle to roll on. So there's a couple different ways to do it, but knowing these characteristics of these essential oils can really help you to determine which one works best. And the other option you have is always to just take the lids off of a few bottles and just smell them, just stick your nose in and see which oil or oils really calls to you, because your body really, at the end of the day, innately knows which oils you need and which ones you can benefit from. And so the last but not least, the thing to think about is that oils help change the chemistry in your brain that causes different emotions. And so that at the end of the day is the really short and skinny on how essential oils help with emotional well-being and why they can help with your emotions. And so I hope that you found some of this information useful. Like I said, this is not a super detailed scientific explanation. Some point I might find a guest to come on my podcast that will do that. But for the time being, like I said, I'll include a few links on the science of essential oils in the description. And if you have any questions about essential oils and well-being, please feel free to reach out. I'm always here for a consultation. The consultation is free. So, there's no harm in asking. And if you've enjoyed and found this information helpful, please share this podcast with other people. Please go and leave me a review on iTunes. And take care. And I look forward to hearing from you soon and being able to continue to share in some of the different things that can help you on your journey to autoimmune healing. And of course, you can check out this episode online on the website or listen to my other episodes at autoimmunerehab.com.